I think at this point, everyone has heard every praise under the sun about this game. Tears of the Kingdom came to us as a smash hit, scoring a whopping 96 on Metacritic, and furthermore, it damn sold 10 million copies in only 3 days. But it's honestly not like this wasn't expected. I've already made a video about the impact Breath of the Wild has had on the open world genre, and honestly, I didn't think despite all the new abilities and gimmicks, Tears of the Kingdom would do anything drastically different that would make it leave that same impact or even be better than Breath of the Wild. Nintendo of course proved me wrong, and the world of Tears of the Kingdom is so jarring in its complexity, its beauty, its creativity, its wonder, and the pure possibilities available to you at every corner. I've already raved about the freedom and absolute creativity that Breath of the Wild lends to you in another video, but the impact of Breath of the Wild on the open world genre is still felt today. Even the game of the year last year, Elden Ring, was explicitly inspired by the tenets of the freedom in exploration and interactivity that Breath of the Wild always offered to the player. Both games provide us with the tools and mechanics necessary in order to do things that are just so out of scope and so unintended that it creates absolutely fantastic gameplay moments. This is even more so true with Tears of the Kingdom, where in Breath of the Wild, exploration and creativity were worked into a package that ultimately complemented each other in every facet. It feels as though Tears of the Kingdom perfects this entirely. Sure, there may always be more beautiful and alive open worlds than these Zelda games, such as Red Dead Redemption 2, and the interactivity with the world's characters and people may be entirely on another level. Even the way you get immersed into a game like Red Dead Redemption 2 may make it seem like a much better open world than both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but that just isn't true. And that's coming from someone who considers Red Dead Redemption 2 as their favorite game of all time. Tears of the Kingdom just comes out of nowhere and just slaps every single open world game out of the water, laughing in their faces in how goddamn creative every single element of this game is. The way that you can just really do whatever the hell you want is more so captured in this game than Breath of the Wild, and that really is incredible when you consider how open-ended the gameplay mechanics of Breath of the Wild were. It gave the agency of control completely back to the player, juxtaposing itself heavily with the other open worlds coming out at the time, and it was truly revolutionary in every facet. So when I'm out here saying that Tears of the Kingdom tops something like that, I truly mean it. The gimmicks in this game are just so much more than that they just add this level of depth and diversity to the gameplay that I just could never imagine being possible in Breath of the Wild. Firstly, the new abilities given to you in the first 3 hours of the game change the scope of the entire gameplay of the game so heavily that even in my relative short span of playing the game, almost about 20 hours now, I just haven't really utilized the wonders of the abilities in the way I know they can be pushed to. It's like Nintendo took a long glance at Breath of the Wild and thought, hey, we've got all these different abilities that people were able to do the most crazy things with, so let's just top that casually. These new abilities are just so foundationally game breaking without actually breaking the game. They cross the line with the limits of the extent of open world exploration, but they also walk the fine line of what is technically possible in a device as old and outdated as the Nintendo Switch. The fact that this world even renders so beautifully on a screen this small is mind-blowing, but the fact that you can create the most stupid things in the game is even more so. The new Ascend, Recall, Ultra Hand, and Fuse abilities change the gameplay so much that I honestly don't even know what the hell is going on sometimes. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of the abilities of Breath of the Wild. They definitely felt in a way that they could be used in a creative manner, and by many people out there in the community, they definitely were. And don't get me wrong, I had my fun with these abilities, but it felt like after maybe 10 or so hours, I'd kind of reached a limit with what I could do, and the gimmicky nature of the abilities couldn't really pose anything more in depth or creative for the general player. So when I'm saying these new abilities in Tears of the Kingdom are ones I still don't know how to completely use, and ones that I'm finding new things to do within every hour of playing this fantastic game, that means they are so damn creative and innovative that the opportunities presented to the player is pretty much endless in every facet. There just never feels like there is a limit to what you can do with these abilities. I've spent hours watching some of the most wacky creations people are making with the Ultra Hand ability, and it just blows my mind that it's even possible. Like there's goddamn transformers and trucks and flying rockets going everywhere and anywhere, and even me, someone that can't really utilize the full creativity of gameplay mechanics like some others, is having an absolute blast building some of the most crazy contraptions possible to man. It's just the pure level of creativity and imagination you can implement into every single one of these creations, and just makes it so damn fun to play this game. Anything is possible, and there's no limit to the creativity of players to make something so out of this world and amazing. Even the fuse ability has been so damn fun to mess around with. I just kill anything and everything I can, gathering so many different weapons in order to just fuse any two items together, seeing what it makes and what I can do with it. The weapon breaking doesn't even bother me at all at this point, because by the time that these weapons break, I've already moved on from that weapon, fusing the next weapon with whatever materials I find in my exploration. Also, the scope of this game's open world is just so mind-blowing in every proportion. It's the absolute verticality of the map here that just makes it such a phenomenal experience in every regard. You've got these new sky islands that were advertised and marketed so much to us, and they in themselves have got all these fun gimmicks and things to mess with, and it's already enough for me that they added these sky islands into the game, because it just honestly feels like a whole new map to explore, in addition to all the changes that have been made to the ground map. But when I first jumped into this huge hole in the ground and realized that there was an underworld as massive, as expansive, as wondrous and creative as the one on the surface and in the sky, I was absolutely awestruck. There's just so much to explore, to find, to look at, to mess with, that I just can't find the time to explore every facet of the world here. I've barely even touched the depths or the sky, and I've already logged in 20 hours in this world. I did my first dungeon at the 5-hour point, and that's because I forced myself to, because I thought I was wasting too much time messing around. But now around 20 hours in, I haven't even looked at any other dungeons, instead just exploring with time just flying by. I honestly don't know where the ceiling for this game's scope is, and I honestly don't even feel like I've explored 1% of this game's opportunities, because every 5 steps I discover a new cave, new sword, new enemy, new area, a new side quest. There's just too much to do, too much to explore, and too many things to do at this point that I don't even know when I'm going to hop back into the main path of the game. That's without even mentioning how the new abilities are integrated into these new creative shrines that are actually so damn fun that I go out of my way to do them. If you told me I would be doing that while I was playing Breath of the Wild, I wouldn't believe you, because I really didn't enjoy the shrines in Breath of the Wild. But here, because there is no limit to your creativity, to your innovation, the shrines can be tackled in the most stupid ways known to man, and it just feels right all at the same time. Mixing and matching these new abilities with the gargantuan open world creates an experience that is truly the most creative, most fun, and most amazing open world game I've ever played. This was just me talking about the surface level of it all, and whenever I finish this game, if I do that is, because the game is just so damn massive, I can't wait to delve into the intricacies of the world, the characters, and the gameplay of this game in another video, all of which makes it one of the most fun gaming experiences I've ever had.